Welcome to Daikin Web-Based Training. The wish of all of us in the Daikin Group is for our customers to be completely satisfied with our air conditioning products. The sales engineers are on the front lines with customers, so their skills, personalities and abilities can have a direct impact on how the products and the Daikin Group are perceived. This shows just how important it is for us to understand the ways to improve customer satisfaction, or CS. In this course, we will take some time to learn about customer satisfaction with our service engineers. When customers get what they want, they become satisfied. That's why it is important to learn about what customers really want. We also need to understand the abilities and attitudes required of service engineers, who can give our customers what they want. What do customers want in air conditioning products? Before purchasing, they look at the functions and price of the product in question. When customers actually buy it, they take into account the explanations provided by the salespersons along with their attitude. When using, customers expect good product quality. When repairs are needed, they look for the skills and expertise of service engineers. Let's now move on to what abilities and attitudes are required of a service engineer in order to satisfy customers. Prompt repair is the important mission given to the service engineer in order to regain the trust and credibility that may have adversely been affected by the malfunctions. However, is it really enough for a service engineer to gain the customer's satisfaction? There is another crucial ability required of a service engineer. When a customer purchases a product, he usually makes that decision after comparing it with other products. In other words, it reflects the trust he puts into the product as well as himself for making the decision. When the product does not work well or breaks down, the customer feels let down because he trusted the product and his decision. This is why service engineers must try to do their job by remembering that repairing the broken product will ultimately repair the customer's broken trust. To this end, service engineers must improve their ability to respond to and interact with customers, with a strong sense of customer satisfaction in mind. Using the following situations, we will learn about the key points that should be kept in mind when visiting a customer. 1. Appearance. 2. What to do before departure. 3. What to do during the visit or work. 4. Key points after completing the work. 5. What to do after returning to the office. Now, let's take a look at these situations one by one. Neatness and cleanliness are the most important points. It is essential to look clean and neat and carry oneself in a professional manner. Let's take a look at some of the suggestions to service engineers in Japan. Is your hair not too long? Are you clean-shaven? Is your cap on properly? Is your name tag on? Are your buttons done up? Are your hands out of your pockets? Are your nails cut properly? Are your hands clean? Are you wearing safety shoes? Are the shoes being worn properly? These are the points to check before departure. First, the service engineer must have a good grasp of the customer's information before departing, such as purchasing details, company overview, the section, position and name of the person to visit, and service history. Next, the service engineer must check the engineering materials and necessary information beforehand in order to complete all repair work in one visit. Third, the service engineer must not forget to bring all the parts specified and necessary tools to the worksite. Be sure to call the customer beforehand when you are going to visit him. Be punctual. If you might be late, call ahead. These are some of the key points that should be kept in mind during the on-site work. On arriving, greet the customer in a clear voice, speak politely, and maintain an amicable and professional attitude. Be careful as to where you park the vehicle. Obtain permission from the customer if parking in the customer's parking lot. If necessary, use a pay parking lot. Make the effort to engage in the work in an efficient, prompt manner. If the customer voices any demands, dissatisfaction, information or any other various points, listen attentively from the customer's perspective. Be sure to obtain the customer's permission before turning the power supply switch off. Be sure you have the right switch. It is safe to have the individual in charge at the customer's office, plant or the like turn the power off. Obtain the customer's permission beforehand if you need to use running water for washing or the like. Be sure to leave the area clean after use. There are places where a mobile phone should not be used. Make sure to check whether a certain location is suitable before using. Do not smoke while you work. Only smoke in designated areas. If furniture or furnishings must be moved to conduct the work, obtain permission from the customer before attempting to move them. These are some of the key points to keep in mind once the work has been completed. The air conditioner is a very important piece of equipment to the customer. It is important to be careful not to place any tools on top of it during the work. Keep in mind that it is also an important job to leave the worksite cleaner than when you started. Make an effort to find all your tools or measuring devices, placing them inside the toolbox. Make sure not to leave anything behind. If your hands become dirty during the work, wash them carefully so as not to get anything you touch dirty. Also, don't forget to wash up after all of the work has been completed. Be sure to report to the individuals to whom you are supposed to report. If the work is conducted in an office, plant or the like, try to report to the individual in charge. If an oral report cannot be made, leave a memo to be passed on to the individual in charge and explain it to the supervisor or manager at the site. Be sure to provide customers with considerate, careful and accurate explanations and descriptions. It is important to understand what the customer wants to know and what kind of information they can comprehend. It is a good idea to create opportunities for the customer to speak. If you are asked a question that you do not know how to answer, tell the customer that you will respond after finding the correct answer, and never forget to keep your word. Finally, these are some of the key points you should keep in mind after you have completed the work and returned to the company. Make sure to address the promises to the customer promptly, if any. Communicate how you are dealing with them to the customer. Make sure to clean and maintain the company vehicle. If necessary, contact those in the related sections, such as those in charge of sales. Up to now, we have learned about the attitudes required of service engineers when visiting a customer. You are also encouraged to devise other ways to improve customer satisfaction.